Welcome to the Talking with Todd podcast. I'm your host, Todd Carter. Today's episode is sponsored by 93 Michi Beats. Forget your producer, my beats are made by Michi. All right, guys, do me a favor. And if you like this content that I put out, please go like, share, and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Today on the show, we have Kadin. Kadin will be sharing his journey as he is on the autism spectrum. Welcome to the show today, Kadin.
Thanks for having me, Todd. It's a pleasure to be here.
You're welcome. All right. So before we get started, go ahead and tell everybody, where are you from and where did you grow up?
Absolutely. I've been all over. I've grown up all over the country. I was born originally in Kingston, New York, which I believe is right outside the city. I'm really not sure, though. I'll have to look that up. But I lived there until I was 10 years old. Then me and my family moved to Arizona for a year. That's where I met my step grandparents. And then after a year, since the school systems in Arizona weren't that good, we moved to Tennessee, the Murfreesboro area, about an hour away from Nashville. And I graduated from high school there. And now I'm in Ohio, and I'm at Kent State University.
Right. Well, awesome. All right. So go ahead and just tell the audience a little bit about yourself.
Absolutely. I was diagnosed with autism when I was 2 years old, and throughout my life, I've had various trials and tribulations and naysayers that told me I wouldn't amount to anything because I was on the autism spectrum. I was born in 2004, diagnosed in 2006, and of course, there was still a lot of taboo and conspiracies and negativity surrounding the topic of autism and special needs at that time, unfortunately. So I don't blame the naysayers for still having that mindset. In fact, when I was in middle school, they completely, boom, cut off my services without my parents' consent. Because looking back at it, I think they were trying to intentionally sabotage my success by doing that. But I've had two supportive parents in my corner throughout this journey of self discovery, and they weren't going to tolerate that. So they wrote to every single autism organization in Tennessee, which was where the middle school was, and a state senator about the matter to try to see some change. Looking back at it now, I think they probably should have sued the school because I learned this week that that kind of stuff is illegal for schools to do. And I'm actually thinking about filing an Americans with Disabilities Act claim against them because that's illegal. I don't know if it'll get accepted. That was when I was in middle school, which was 5, 6, probably 10 years ago, honestly. Wait, I'm 19 now. This happened when I was 12. So about 7 years.
I think you're right in that window. I think you have like 7 years to file any type of lawsuit. I think, don't quote me, but I want to say it's within 7 years, I think.
I have to Google it. So this year would be the last year. Yeah, so I'll probably hurry up and make that decision soon. But I digress. Then after middle school, I was in high school. I ran for cross country, and then COVID happened, and everything was online. I wasn't super fond of it because people with autism like their schedules and they like their routine and for things to stay the same. And the world changed for everyone.
Absolutely.
But I later found out that I thrive in an online environment. I could concentrate better. It was easier for me to do math, which was one of my tougher subjects. And I didn't have to worry about the social stuff. And I went back to in-person high school for a little bit for my senior year, but pulled out again to do online high school full time because of a response to a COVID exposure I had and an incident involving a trans student where the school sat back and watched them get bullied and didn't do their jobs. which is honestly one of the many reasons I started my advocacy journey in college. My advocacy work started freshman year of college for a class project. Yeah, the task was think of a way to help the community and act upon it. So, of course, I decided to get inspiration from my own experiences and set up a GoFundMe for Autism Society of America with my group. And we raised over $1,000 for it last year. And we ended up winning a contest for that GoFundMe. But unfortunately, as typical with what I like to call the TikTok generation, which is ironically the generation I'm a part of, my
Mhm.
group only did the assignment to get the grade and to get the prize we got for getting first in that contest. But I was inspired by it to continue my advocacy journey, and this led to me giving speeches, going on shows like this to tell my story and spread awareness. And just last week, at the time of this recording, I actually received the town proclamation for Autism Awareness Day in Portage County, which is where Kent is a part of.
Okay. That is so awesome, because that was what I was going to ask you. Is like, what happened for you to start to bring awareness to autism? But you just explained that to me. So, what are you actually doing for this month to celebrate? Because it's Autism's Awareness Month.
Yeah, like I said, I'm continuing my advocacy work. I'm advocating for more change for the autism community because this country doesn't take autism awareness seriously enough. And I don't get it. You think that in 2024, after everything minorities have been through, that this country would have a little more respect for that. But unfortunately, we see things in the news like TikTok ban passed or Draxo ban
Right.
passed. And we don't see Congress or Senate or these people in power taking any initiative for those who actually need help, those with special needs, those who are homeless. So that was another part of the reason why I went full head on into my advocacy work this past year, because I know what it feels like for these kids to feel alone, to feel confused, and to feel misunderstood, because I was in their shoes once. So if I can make a difference for the community and help out wherever I can, and then I'm gonna do it. I absolutely am. For Autism Awareness Month, I'm of course appearing on more shows like
Mhm.
this, and I'm overall just continuing to do me and fight for the community.
Awesome. Awesome job. And thank you so much for doing that. Um, what is an obstacle that you had to overcome that relates to like school or your life?
Well, it's honestly weird. Academic wise, I thrive. I'm extremely intelligent. I actually have straight A's right now. The only subject I really struggled with is math.
Okay.
But don't we all, it's mainly the social stuff I struggle with, like understanding social cues, understanding facial
Mhm.
expressions, taking things too literal, that kind of thing.
Well, at least you're aware. So it looks like you're aware of what your struggles are. So that's halfway, you're halfway there if you know what it is that you wanting to work on.
Yeah, absolutely. I've become more self-aware about myself these past 2 years as I've learned more about autism. Because there was a time in my life where I didn't fully embrace the gift I have and thought of it as something then that could be cured, a disease, if you will. But the more I'm learning about it, the more I'm coming to embrace it
Yeah.
because some of the most successful people in the world were on the autism spectrum and still
Mhm.
managed to do great things. Isaac Newton, he was on the spectrum. Einstein was on the spectrum. One example
Mhm.
I always cite in interviews like this is Frederick Nietzsche. Yeah, he was on the spectrum. Courtney Love, Daryl Hannah, Dan Aykroyd, Elon Musk. I think Bruce Willis's daughter just came out as being on the spectrum, one of them.
Mhm. So, what is one thing that you would like to see change for people that has autism? What do you like to change?
Oh man, everything. Thing. The main thing is I want to eliminate conservative SIPs eventually. Once I'm 50 and I've had my fun, I have a bunch of money, I might run for president. I think we need the first autistic president of the United States in America. Okay, it will teach people respect. And one of the
Absolutely.
main initiatives I'm planning on doing is eliminating conservative SIPs because there's no need for them. If people can be given the chance to thrive and not have that card pulled on them all the time, then maybe he would make great contributions in society. Group homes are also concerning to me, so I want those eliminated too. I think those are an easy solution for parents, unfortunately, for people for if they have kids with severe autism and they can't take care of themselves, can't walk, can't talk. As you know, autism is a wide range of spectrums,
Hmm.
so I want both group homes eliminated. That way, those who are nonverbal and might not need a little bit more help taking care of themselves can have a chance to thrive in society. For schools, I want them to actually do their job definitely, and not cut off set a student's services without parental consent. And that's a huge issue for me. And for overall society, I want them to treat not just people with disabilities, but everyone with more compassion because we're all human. We all have the same goal in mind, which is
Absolutely.
to do what we like and spread peace in the world and live in prosperity.
Absolutely. You said it. Absolutely. I totally agree. So, what advice would you give someone who has a child with autism?
I would say give them a chance. Be there for them. Be supportive of them. My parents were very supportive of me. And don't stop fighting for your child. Do whatever you got to do to make sure
Mhm.
your child has the most successful life they can have.
Absolutely. Yep, so that they can thrive. Absolutely. Absolutely. I have family members that have children that are, autistic, and I have friends that, have autistic children. So this is, something that's near and dear to me as well. So I was very excited when I read your story, and I definitely wanted to bring it on my channel, and especially for this month, because it's something that I feel very passionate about. So thank you for so much for reaching out to me to give me this opportunity to have this conversation.
Absolutely, Todd. Thanks for having me.
Oh, absolutely. All right. So let's see. So, how did you get your first podcast interview to speak
Mm,
on this matter?
through Facebook, through messaging a bunch of people, and email. I'm always online, always on social media. Yeah.
Mhm.
And last year, there was something my dad said to me that really resonated with me. Your story has the potential to go viral, and then it leads to more opportunities. Not that I'm concerned about virality
Right.
or anything. I'm just a guy trying to spread positivity in society. But I was partly inspired by that ad. So I got to messaging. I emailed a bunch of random podcast hosts, some of them with extremely big platforms. And
Hmm.
one of the first ones I interviewed for about was taped in January. It's out now. Came out on Autism Awareness Day, actually, April 2nd, and was with Chris Mitchell and the Define Yourself podcast.
Okay. I have to check it out. That is super awesome. All right. And what do people misunderstand about you?
Hmm, about me or people with autism as a whole?
Just no, you. What do people misunderstand about you?
There are no misunderstandings about me. Well, there was one rumor in high school that was spread amongst my own cross country team that I was faking my autism for attention when
Oh,
they could clearly tell I wasn't. They see how socially awkward I am. They see how quirky I can B, they see X, Y, saw X, Y, and Z things. So looking back at it, I really don't get why they would think I would be faking my autism for my own pleasure, because then that's a whole new low for people.
Right. Well, maybe because you're so smart. Maybe you think that's it.
Yeah, maybe, maybe. I was getting good grades in high school.
And you still are. I saw where you were on the dean's list.
Uh, oh, oh yeah, yeah. I got my third consecutive one last semester. I'm going on four, or this semester.
That is awesome because college can be very stressful. And so, yeah, that's a big accomplishment to be in college on a dorm by yourself, which puts me into our next question that I'm going to ask you. How is it living in a dorm and by yourself now?
Unfortunately, I do have a roommate.
Well, but you're
He's
still on your own.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
when you go to
yeah.
college, you're gonna have a roommate. But I'm saying you're still away from your family for the first time, I'm assuming, and you're on your own. Even though you have a roommate, I mean, you're in college. So how is that?
Yeah, well, my family is still in my corner, but I'm loving the independence of a freedom.
Yes.
But the thing is, I'm trying not to abuse it, if you will, and focus on my responsibilities. Hence why thanks to my roommate's smoking habit and vaping habit, I don't really hang out in my dorm anymore. Or I'm actually filming this from the community lounge where no one ever goes into. And I've kind of made
Mhm.
this my little studying area and hangout area, which I like. I can better concentrate in here anyway. Because would you want to be in a dorm with
No,
someone as puffing
no. Well, I
Chiba
can
and
tell you
weed?
that right now. No, no,
Yeah,
I wouldn't. Yeah, no, I wouldn't. Mm-mm.
yeah. So I only usually go in my dorm to sleep these days, and because that's pretty much all you need your dorm for. Just sleep, getting clothes, and you're good.
Right. Wow. All right. So now this is the part of the show where we kind of get on a personal note. So I'm just going to kind of ask you some random questions. So one of the things I want to ask is if you won the lottery, what would you do?
I would pay off all of my student loan debts now as a broke college student making 17 an hour as a PR person.
Okay. That's smart. You're so, what's the word? Like conscious about being responsible and I love that because sometimes, when you're 19 years old, like they don't have the mindset that you do. So I love that
Yeah,
because
exactly. Well, yeah, especially my generation. And what I find absurd about them is they whine, complain, and aren't willing to put in the work, yet they act entitled. Just the other day, I don't know if you saw it on Twitter, I watched this video of this Gen Zer who had 2 degrees and a certificate complaining about how the only job he got a response for from applying was a customer service call job, and C straight up said, "No, I'm more fit than you. I have 2 degrees." Blah, 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 blah. So, when here's the thing, I don't get thinks he gets how the real world works. You don't just get a job just because you have the 2 degrees.
right.
You still have to work, and thanks to your outburst on TikTok in front of millions of people, you probably just took away the only opportunity you had for growth. It's honestly absurd to me how entitled Gen Z acts. At the time of this recording, I think this upcoming Tuesday, when this thing releases, Kyle Rittenhouse is coming to campus, and some students are talking about skipping class over it, which I find even more absurd. I mean, they're entitled to their choices, but the problem I have is you're going into hundreds of thousands of dollars of debt to go to school, to go to university, to get that degree, to
Mhm.
function as a human being in the United States. So you shouldn't be skipping out on class because something makes your butt hurt. The world doesn't stop over that. And I can't wait. I swear, I can't wait to see the look on Gen Z's face when reality sets in. They have all this debt, this degree, and they got to pay it off.
Right. Trust me, I know I have a student loan myself, so I do know how that can be. So, what is next for you?
Well, I'm definitely going to continue my advocacy work, especially after I graduate.
Mhm.
I'm planning on working in the music industry as a PR person, which is what I'm majoring in, public relations. I'm working as a PR person for a couple of politicians right now. And as I said, once I'm 50 years old,
Impressive.
have, thank you. Once I'm 50 years old, have a bunch of money, and I've had my fun, I'm planning on running for office so we can have the first autistic president or governor in United States history.
I love it. That is so awesome. All right, so I see the serious side of you. You seem so well rounded in terms of responsibility. So, having said that, what do you do for fun?
Mm, oh, well, of course, I definitely do stuff like that. This is
Hmm.
always fun for me. I love
It
doing this
is.
kind of stuff with people.
Yes.
And I do a lot of music stuff, singing, playing guitar, or making beats, and
Cool.
I like to dance in whatever talent shows are going on campus. Completely self-taught. I'm actually going to be dancing in my school's international talent show representing America this upcoming Friday.
Well, good for you. I love it. And you make beats. One of my nephew make beats. Okay. It take a lot to make those beats, you know. So yeah, that's a nice pastime to have.
I absolutely agree.
Mhm. All right. So now we are at our last question of the day. So I asked you to tell me what is your favorite Bible verse?
Hmm. Favorite Bible verse. Can I do favorite Bible story?
Yes, go right
Hmm.
ahead.
Adam and Eve. I think that was the first relationship drama and soap opera type story in history. And of course, it's about food with the apple and how naive some people can be. And I honestly feel like nowadays we're in an Adam and Eve type situation where, thanks to misinformation, that apple, if you will, we're all naive and we believe everything we hear.
Okay. Never thought of it that way, but you're right. Gotcha. All right. Well, that is so awesome. I want to thank you so much for taking the time to interview with me. So, tell everybody how they can follow you on social media if you want them to.
Yeah, absolutely. You can follow me on Facebook, Kadin Ronald Nolan, and you can follow me on Instagram at 73 posts here.
All right. All right, guys. You can follow me on Facebook and TikTok as Tot Carter and on Instagram as Ivy Tot 10. And again, guys, I need you to go out there and hit the subscribe button. Don't just watch. I have faithful watchers, but I have to make sure everybody is subscribing to my channel. Please like, share, and comment because that helps me with my algorithm. So that's your homework, guys, that are out there watching tonight. Well, when this airs, to like, leave me a message and let me know how you like this episode. All right, until next time, I will see you guys later. Tell everybody bye, Kadin.
Bye.
All right, thank you.